Good day everyone. Welcome to the first pre-recorded video for the criminal justice system in the Philippines. Now, first we are going to start with the overview of what a criminal justice system is. Criminal justice system, as defined, is the machinery which encompasses prevention and control of crime. Next definition is the network of government and private agencies intended to manage accused and convicted criminals. Third definition is comprised of multiple interrelated pillars consisting of academia, law enforcement, forensic services, the judiciary, and corrections. Now, based on the three different definitions coming from the three different sources. The first one here is defined as the machinery which the society uses in the prevention and control of crime. Now, lumang definition ito because the this definition only talks about the correction. It prevents through deterrence. Matatakot yung tao na gumawa ng crime kasi may punishment. But all the rest of the pillars, iba yung purpose nila. So, this definition, the first definition, is parang incomplete and it does not define the whole system. So, next definition, it is the network of government and private agencies. So, network intended to manage accused and convicted criminals. Actually, this one is quite in general, but I know it is quite in general, but it's quite specific. Okay, this definition is perfect because it talks about government and private agencies. Yung sa government, apat, law enforcement, court, prosecution, corrections. Yung sa private is yung talks about community. Okay? Intended to manage accused and convicted criminals. Now, dito tayo sa definition ni Sir Tan. What is criminal justice system? It is simple. It is a system that ensures justice for the criminals. As you can see, no, you will later on see and realize that criminal justice system only applies to those who are accused and who are convicted. It does not affect if you make changes within the system, it does not affect those who are not accused and who are not convicted. Kaya nga, criminal justice system, hindi innocent justice system or Philippine justice system. It always has criminal before justice system. Okay? Now, the purpose is to deliver justice for all. This means protecting the innocent, convicting criminals, and providing fair justice process to help keep order across the country. So the main purpose of this is to maintain justice, para maging just. And according to to our laws, you are innocent until proven guilty. So hanggat hindi ka pa proven in the court, by the court, on the court pala, on the court, that you are guilty, then you must be treated as an innocent person. Okay? Your rights are still present except for the right to liberty. You are being incarcerated, imprisoned, to be held trial, kaya yun lang yung na-violate, yung kukunin sa'yo, right to liberty. Okay, now, this CJS did not just appear or did not just, uh, were just created out of, out of nowhere. Meron itong basis, and that is the highest law of the land, which is the Constitution. And the CGS is based on Section 11, Article 2, 1987 Philippine Constitution. The state values the dignity of every human person and guarantees full respect for human rights. So hanggat hindi pa proven, and kahit proven, meron pa ring ano, yung pagbigay ng value ng state sa human life. Next section is Section 1, Article 3, 1987 Constitution. No person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall any person be denied the equal protection of the laws. As you can see, no person. So, no one shall be deprived of life, of the right to live, and liberty, right to freedom or property. So, right to own anything without due process of law. So, dito, nakalagay without due process of law, it means that the state has the power to take it all away, to take those rights away. Basta may due process of law. Okay? Kaya nga, dati merong yung death sentence. Yun, kukunin ng state yung sa'yo. Okay? Liberty. Kukunin yan through imprisonment. Dahil sa nakasala ka. But it does not mean that baseless yung power ng state. Dito binibigay kung hanggat saan yung power ng state, and dito based ang lahat ng mga laws. Okay? Now, the Constitution is based on this idea, our Constitution. According to the English jurist William Blackstone, according to him, better than guilty persons escape than that one innocent suffer. According to Benjamin Franklin, it is better 100 guilty persons should escape than one innocent person should suffer. Now, our Constitution, which was revised by President Corazon Aquino, during 1986, and she designed it to be pro-life. Pro-life meaning it gives importance to life. Kaya nga grabe yung pag-define ng Constitution that all laws should give, that the state should give importance to life. Kaya nga dito, values the dignity of every human person and guarantees full respect for human rights. Pero it does not mean that unlimited may hangganan. So, if you have violated the rights of another person, then the state may also treat you how you treated the other person. Okay? So, it's just a little of mine, but it's, it is an eye opener, right? Where do we draw the line? Liso naman sir, siyempre sa paper. Well, anyway, moving on. Now, major components or pillars of the CGS and its function. The first pillar, or the first component of the Philippine criminal justice system is the law enforcement pillar, or the law enforcement. The first pillar consists mainly of the Philippine National Police. The work of the PNP is focused on the prevention and control of crimes, enforcement of laws, and effecting arrest of offenders, including the conduct of lawful searches and seizures to gather necessary evidences so that a complaint may be filed with the prosecutor's office. Moving on, our law enforcement agencies. Okay, the NBI. Example lang ito. So, kayo na ang bahala. Medyo mahaba yung nilagay ko nito on what they were on what these agencies are tasked to do. So, if you want to read, i-pause nyo na lang, okay? So, I will just skim it for for this session. Kasi talagang talaga, time consuming. The first is the National Bureau of Investigation. This is aside from the PNP. Bale, yung main law enforcement agency is yung PNP. Okay, next is the BIR, Land Transportation Office, LTO. Ito yung in charge sa inspection and registration motor vehicles. So sa BIR, mainly they collect taxes, but they can also file cases that are against against uh, law of taxes. Let's say evasion of taxes. If you are evading taxes, hindi ka nagbabayad or um, you you made a you are having a machination which decreases your taxes, then that is still a form of tax evasion. Then the BIR will file a case to the court. Okay. Next is Bureau of Customs. Same pa rin. You have revenues na babayaran, obligations. So, if you are conducting what we call this, ano ba yan? Smuggling, merong direct and indirect smuggling. So, the Bucor will file a case against you. Pero, they can request the assistance of the PNP to arrest you. Okay, next is the Food and Drug Administration. Okay, they ensure the health of the public. Kung ano pa yung binebenta ng mga ng mga pagkain tsaka mga gamot. If it is not safe for the consumption of the public, then they are going to request the PNP to arrest you or to close your store or to investigate kung saan galing yung mga pagkain at mga gamot. Okay, next is Philippine Coast Guard. Mandated and responsible to perform maritime search and rescue, maritime law enforcement, maritime safety, maritime marine, environmental protection, and maritime security. Sir, what is the difference between maritime and marine? Okay, marine talks about anything that the sea produces. Maritime talks about uh, anything that is related to sailing. Okay, paglawig. So ano, if may taong nahuli na gumagawa ng act na nakakasira sa environment o sa mga isda, nakaka-poison, nakakasira ng ng what we call this, habitat ng isda, then under yan sa marine environmental laws. Pero kung ano, what we call this, yung mga pirates of local Caribbean. Well, so that was a stupid joke. Okay, so it talks about maritime, yung mga sa pirates. Okay, next group is the Philippine National Police PNP Aviation Security Group, or the ABSE group, which is also known, I think, in the previous years, the ABSECOM company, Aviation Security Company. Okay, but this is latest information. Group na ang tawag sa kanila. They are responsible on securing all the country's airports against offensive and terrorist acts. Okay. Anything that involves the air. So, ang PNP Aviation Security Group ang, they will act on it. But, kung kulang sila ng mga gamit, then they can cooperate with the Air Force. Okay, next is, now, history of law enforcement. Just a little history of the word. The word police originated from the Greek word politeia, meaning government of a city. The word was applied to civil officers and not necessarily policemen. Romans changed the word slightly to politia. The French changed the word to police and applied it to those persons who actually enforced the law. The English borrowed the word intact from the French and used it to describe a law enforcement officer. So, from the Greece, kung sino yung nag-govern ng city, mga public officials, they were the, police. Okay. Then, nag-change lang. Then, pagdating ng French, yung French fries pala yung rason kung bakit nag-iba yung meaning. Yung Romans, nag-iba lang yung word, yung spelling. Pero pagdating sa French fries, nag-iba na talaga yung spelling, tsaka meaning, tsaka ginaya ng mga English. Grabe yung mga tao, no? Who knew? Copyright was a very big violation during those times. Well, anyway, moving on. Evolution of Philippine policing. During the pre-Spanish era, when we were still under the Spanish regime, under the ruling of the Spain, cabeza de barangay, which is the head and leader of a group of settlers, were the one who governed, disciplined, and punished. Okay, they were in charge of policing, yung sa head sa barangay. Next is Carabineros de Seguridad Pública, first organized police force in 1712 to carry out the regulations of the state. So these are all Spaniards. Next is Cuerpo de Carabineros de Seguridad Pública, was the main policing force and came to be by the Royal Decree of December 20, 1842. So, medyo tumagal kung ano yung ano. Grabe yung Tagalog before there were changes. So, from 1712 hanggang 1842, 100 years plus pa. Okay, next is Cordilleros. The Royal Decree of January 8, 1836 organized the first rural police organization in each town to maintain the public security and order. So bali, meron palang localized police force. And these are the Guardilleros. Then, pagka 1842, merong main policing force, which is mas superior ata ito kasi sa Guardilleros. Kasi may nakalagay main eh. So, lastly is the Guardia Civil or the Guardia Civiles was created by virtue of Royal Decree February 1852. Purpose is to relieve the Spanish militia in its duties and is composed of Filipino mestizos, Indios, and Spaniards. By this time, naanay mga nagbunga. Nagbunga ng bunga ng masamang ugat. Ay, nako. Medyo na pwede mahangyo, sir. Na. Well, anyway, moving on. Sorry about that. May konti lang, nag-chat kahit medyo gabi na. Okay, next is during the American occupation, Insular Constabulary was created through Act No. 175 on July 18, 1901. It preserved peace, order, and enforced laws, headed by General Henry Allen. So this was their way to control the Filipinos. So Manila Police Department created by Act Number 183 on July 31, 1901 under Captain George Curry as the first Chief of Police. So next is Philippine Constabulary. Dito na. Nakaabot dito yung ating mga lolo. Created by Section 1 of Act Number 225. Majority of the Philippine Constabulary personnel were Filipinos under Captain Henry T. Allen as the first chief. So, sa police, Manila Police Department, si Captain George Curry yung first chief of police. So, sa Philippine Constabulary, si Captain Henry T. Allen yung first chief. Chief PC na ito. Kasi yung major law enforcement agency natin ngayon, PNP, is Chief PNP, which is si General Sinas. So this should be labeled as the first Chief PC, si Captain Henry T. Allen. It preserved peace, order, and enforced the law. So during those times, the Bureau of Investigation was also created. Under Act No. 181 on November 8, 1938, it required the creation of a Bureau of Investigation. It was designed to handle scientific and modern investigation. On June 19, 1947, RA 157 was passed as a modification of the Division of Investigation. After World War II, RA 2678, Republic Act 2678 was enacted on 1960, which expanded and reorganized the National Bureau of Investigation. So, dito pala, una yung Act 181. Tapos, I think during the time ng war siguro ito, may ipinasa na Special Law Republic Act 157 to modify the Division of Investigation. Tsaka yung finally na na-realize yung expand at na-reorganize yung NBI sa Republic Act 2678. It's easy to remember. What special law created the National Bureau of Investigation? Sir, 2678. Sisir kayo, no? Sorry, guys. Okay, next is Police Act of 1966. The formation and professionalization started on September 8, 1966. It was created to improve the efficiency of the police performance. Now, even during those times, as early as 1966, there were attempts to reform and to professionalize in order to improve the outcome, the output of the police work or performance. Okay, next is the Integrated National Police or the INP. Presidential decree. So this was during the time of Marcos. Marcos T. President Marcos T. Okay, during the time of President Marcos. So, because all laws that has PD, presidential decree, were created during the time of martial law by President Marcos. So, Presidential Decree or PD 765 created the INP. So, kanina yung RA 2678, ngayon naman PD 765. Sus, grabe. Parang ang dali talaga i-remember, no? On August 8, 1975, during this time, the PC or the Philippine Constabulary served as a national police, while the INP served as the local police. Pero kaya nga sinasabi dito ng mga matatanda, mas malaki yung authority ng PC kaysa sa INP. Kasi yung INP hanggang dyan lang kung saan siya assigned. Let's say sa Dipolog City lang. Pero yung PC, kahit saan siya pupunta, may authority siya. But I do not know kung ano talaga. Wala naman tayong paper talaga dito na nagsasabi talaga kung hanggang saan at kung kaninong authority yung masire. In case na kanang they will meet. Okay. During those times, talagang ang gulo. Ang gulo ng anggulo. Boom. So, in 1990, the DILG Act was created under President Corazon C. Aquino, created the Republic Act 6975 or the DILG Act. So, it was in this time that the DILG was created, Department of Interior and Local Government, in which it unified the INP and PC into Philippine National Police to establish one police organization that is national in scope and civilian in character. And the statement to establish one police organization that is national in scope and civilian in character is what is written under Section 6 of Article 6 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution. So, ano na, slowly na yung constitution natin were being realized kung ano yung mga nakalagay doon. Di ba? So, yung TC nauna, tapos INP, tapos during those times, ano, what we call this, they existed in unison. I hope it was in unison na, so, kaya, ano, ginawang isa yung PNP, ay yung INP at saka PC. So next is the Philippine National Police Reform and Reorganization Act of 1988. Now, dito na naman, meron na namang attempt. And this is not just an attempt. It was realized that this was created under the virtue of Republic Act 8551. It was created to provide an effective and efficient police organization and also the professionalization in the performance of their functions. Now, in this time, yung mga tao na were appointed to become a part of the Philippine Constabulary were really required to undergo proper education. That the PNP's minimum educational qualification should be a college graduate, and that there were no, there were really requirements such as minimum requirement of height, weight, call this, that no body impairment should that if a person having a body impairment should not be allowed or be accepted. Ano pa? Dapat college graduate ka. Merong qualifications din sa ngipin, 'di ba? Yung ganon. So, what dito na-realize or dito na nagiging Mr. Perfect yung pulis. Kasi kung ano yung hinihiling sa pulis, dito na nilalagay. Dapat you must be a professional, dapat ganito yung gawin mo, ganito ka. So, hinahanap nila si Mr. Perfect. I hope hindi nakalagay dito pleasing personality. Well, anyway, moving on. Now, powers and functions. As we all know, crime is not just the concern of the police. Crime is everyone's concern. Lahat tayo dapat makialam. Okay? Kaso lang, tayong mga civilians, we are just part-timers. We only give our time and effort voluntary whenever we are available and whenever we can. Now, yung mga pulis, even if ayaw nila, wala silang choice. Kasi yun yung profession na pinili nila. If they are not going to do it, they are liable against the law. Now, yung police is binibigay niya yung kanyang full-time attention dyan. That is why he is being paid because of his, because of rendering his service and his time 24 hours. Kaya he is being paid. But hindi kaya ng pulis na gawin lahat-lahat. That is why we, civilians, must cooperate with them. Cooperate in where? In what? How? We must cooperate in crime prevention, crime suppression, especially in crime solution. Sa prevention, paano? Okay, we can join with voluntary activities. We have plenty of non-organizational groups in which their goal is to reduce crime or to reduce the opportunity of crime to happen. And meron din namang tayong yung next is the crime prevention. So how can we help with crime suppression? How can we help with crime suppression? So whenever we can see or kahit tayo, if we are already in the situation in which we are being victimized, we must not just shout and you know wait for the police to come. If the perpetrator, the criminal, does not have a gun, why not catch him? Why not fight? Payat ka? Why did you not prepare? Hindi ka marunong? Bakit hindi ka na-practice? So during the next time na may similar mangyari sa'yo or sa family mo, you can help in suppressing the perpetrator. Okay? Next is lastly, very important, crime solution. Kadalasan sa atin ay natatakot magbigay ng testimony. Why not give it in secret? Sikreto kang pumunta doon o manghingi ka ng cellphone number in order just to guide the police kung saan sila pupunta, kung sino yung hahabulin nila. Okay? Now, being as the major law enforcement agency, their authority is very wide. Now, it is being defined. First of all is here, wala na, di nakabala mo in English, sir. Okay, first is the PNP enforces all laws and ordinances relative to the protection of lives and properties. Next, he maintains peace and order and takes all necessary steps to ensure public safety. The police investigate and prevent crimes, effect the arrest of criminal offenders, bring offenders to justice, and assist in their prosecution. They exercise the general powers to make arrest, search and seizure in accordance with the Constitution and pertinent laws. This pertinent laws talks about the criminal procedure when it comes to search and seizure. Okay? Kasi hindi ka basta-bastang maka-conduct ng search at seizure. Okay? So, next is they detain an arrested person for a period not beyond what is prescribed by law, informing the person so detained of all his rights under the Constitution. So, dito pasok yung prescription kung how long mo pwedeng i-arrest yung tao. If more than that time, I think more or less it's either 24 or 48. If it's more than that, then you need a warrant. Okay, signed by a judge. Okay, next is informing the person so detained of all his rights under the Constitution. Now, dito mo na sasabihin yung Miranda rights. Okay? During arrest. Next is issue license for the possession of firearms and explosives in accordance with law. So, yung police din pala yung in charge sa pag-issue ng license ng possession of firearms. Next is supervise and control the training and operation of security agencies and to security guards and private detectives for the practice of their professions. Understandable? Perform such other duties and exercise all other functions as may be provided by law. Such a very wide statement. Now, dito sa last, perform such other duties. Now, this one is very dangerous. So, kung meron kayong mga mga contracts or mga contracts na nakalagay ito sa last part, dapat hindi ganyan. Dapat it should be defined. Specifically defined. Kasi dito napapasok yung other duties and exercise other functions. So, more or less, marami pa ito. Let's say, for example, una, they should be the frontliners during any catastrophe or natural disaster. Hindi nakalagay dito. But it is part of them that they should ensure the life, liberty, and property of the civilians are being kept. Na? Key terms? I think hindi nalagay dito. Enforce all laws and ordinances. Okay, enforce all laws. Nandito pala. Let's say, dito. Perform traffic duties in times of, let's say, accidents. So, nagiging traffic officer sila. Let's say, kung may away sa locality, so, tinatawag na naman sila. So, let's say, kahit nga yung mag-asawa, they have the authority to give counseling to guide those lost love souls, char. So, ano pa ba? Basta sa alam ko, marami pa kung ano yung mga duties ng isang police officer. But anyway, moving on. Now, for the last part of the session, I want you to take a look at this. During examinations, when we are talking about police organization and administration, this is your holy Bible, or this will be your holy Bible when we are talking about police organization and administration. Okay? So from the top, make it drop. That's Deputy Chief for Admin and Operations. So from Chief PNP, divide. Then dito sa baba, Chief of Directorial Staff. So etong 12, yung mga different directors. So I think it was mga 10 years ago ata or more. 10 ito sila. Ang nadagdag ay itong Directorate for Information and Communication Tech Management at saka ito, Directorates for Integrated Police Operations. Okay? So dito, itong 6 offices or 6 offices ata or 6 divisions they are dito, under dito, administrative support units. Hindi pala. They are not under. They're here. Okay. So, from Chief PNP, under itong dalawa sa Chief. Tsaka itong Chief o their directorial staff, yung dito yung 12, eto yung 12 under sa kanya. Then, yung 12 will just coordinate with admin or operations. So, for example, si Directorate for Logistics. So, dito siya, if may command dito si Chief na, okay, logistic, dapat, gagawa tayo ng auditing. So, Directorate for Logistics, bababa, dito sa admin, Logistic Support Service. So, dito, sila yung mag-process sa audit. Then, babalik yan, he will report to the directorate and the directorate will report to the chief of the directorial staff. Okay? Ganun yan. Now, all these directorates can tap to whichever office needed for him to perform his duty. So, it does not mean that yung logistic is under lang ng logistic. They can report or they will report to any of these directorial staff offices ba to? Or divisions. Now, these are the administrative support units. Currently, ito yung pinaka-latest as of September 2020. So, this picture, this is available in the internet. This will help you in joint board exams. Mas bababa tayo dito. Okay, dito sa left, ito yung NCR Police Office. Iba yung kanilang setup. Kasi, pang metropolitan sila. 5 district offices, police stations, substations. Yung Zamboanga City, nag-practice ng substation. Substation 9, yung nahuli, bago lang. I think that was Police Master Sergeant Leyte, na dating na-assign sa Pagadian, nahulihan ng robbery extortion. Okay. Now, for the rest of the provinces, Police Regional Office 1 to 3, 5 to 13, ARM. So, hindi kasali yung 4. Police Region 4. Region 4. I think, yung Region 4? Nandito yon. ARM, CAR, Calabarzon, Mamaropa. I think it is Calabarzon. Well, na lang, just to be sure, i-search nyo lang, okay? So, yung regional office, bababa. Under niya is yung provincial offices, municipal, then yung mga precincts. Okay? Municipal or city. Actually, yung municipal has to report to the city. Oh, teka. Hindi. The municipal police station does not directly report to the city. So, yung city at saka yung municipal should report directly or should be under the direct supervision of the province, PPO. Tsaka yung mga PPO is under sila sa dito pa, city police offices, CPO. What is CPO? City Police Offices, Police Stations. Nako. Regional Mobile Force Battalion. Okay. Okay. So, eto yung whole setup ng PNP. Kasi dati, yung setup talagang ano, if we are going to study on that, yung kung ano yung nasa book na 2003 pa, grabe, dami na kulang. Pero just study this, know what it is, and then if may konting idea ka na, everything will be clear when you get in the 4th year. Uy, nag-rhyme. Boom. Well, anyway, see you next time, guys. So, thank you for listening. And I hope meron kayong na natutuhan. Okay, bye.